Heyo, and what's up, gang? Thank you once again for joining us back on the channel today. We have got stuff to talk about. There is news about the future plans for Brock Lesnar and the Universal title. We have had a former TNA talent make their debut on the NXT show this week. Who is it? We are going to talk about that. We also have today in pro wrestling history, all that and so much more right here and right now on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, gang, let's get right to it. I am Nick Nightmare. This is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. We have had a tremendous week this week, coming off the strength of our call to action and our trying to help out the guys at WhatCulture Pro Wrestling and all of wrestling on YouTube. It's not really about WhatCulture, it's about the entirety of the wrestling community, from the small guy like me to the big guys like them, getting the word out and fighting back against YouTube. We've had a lot of subscribers jump on board. We have hit number 100. That's right, 100 subscribers and counting. As soon as we hit 100, we went right past it. We are currently nestled comfortably at 108. I didn't do a little special dance for that. And if you want to see this in its entirety, you can go check that video out. I will have it linked in the description, probably popping up right about now. If you're watching and you have your annotations on, you can click that link. Check out that little special gift I left to all of you. There should be 108 views on that. I made that as a special gift for all my subscribers. So, if you're subscribed, go check out your gift. It's fucking awesome. Go watch it. And then come back and finish watching this, because today we are going to talk about some things. And we are going to start off with probably the top story, which all of you who watch NXT, you will know that we had the debut of Thea Trinidad, also known as Rosita, from her days in TNA Impact Wrestling, right here in Queens, New York, born and raised, a hometown girl for us here on the Sledgehammer TV network. We are based out in Queens. I'm not sure exactly where, I didn't look further into it, but she's from right around our neck of the woods. And she's been around doing her rounds in the independent circles. She has shown up on NXT before, but she is officially signed now and is going to be an active part of the roster. She did have a match, I believe, back in October against Asuka for the NXT Women's title, and I'm sure she did a great job, but it's Asuka. So, you know, you're going to take your hits and you're going to lose and you're going to go away. But I'm excited about this. She came in on NXT and she immediately confronted Andrade Cien Almas, and she got in his face and she's like, yo, this is what you're all about now? What the hell's wrong with you? And then she slapped the taste right out of his mouth, probably knocked the tacos loose from his teeth that he probably had for lunch before he went out there and partied with those girls, because there's something brewing, and hopefully there's like some kind of an influx of some Mexican talent. Maybe we get a Spanish-themed stable similar to LAX or Mex America, which she was a part of in TNA. I remember very vividly she was part of that faction with her cousin Sarita, who was actually the focus of the push of that group besides Hernandez and Anarquia. A great stable in TNA called Mexican America. Not Mex America like WWE did, it was Mexican America. They did some great stuff. They were fighting the beautiful people all the time. Sarita and Rosita, were actually TNA Knockouts Tag Team Women's Champions. Yes, that was a thing back then, and it was a good thing, because TNA was actually very entertaining back then, and they were part of a very, very fun time. And when you were watching TNA, it was just something cool, man. It was different, it was special, and this girl can go. And like I said, she was a rosebud for a while, but now she's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and we need more women around, especially in the NXT women's division. There's, you know, we got iconic, the great duo of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. We have Nikki Cross. We have the Pigeon Lady herself, Ruby Riott. And the division is growing, but we need more. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Thea or Rosita, I don't know what they're going to call her, probably Thea Trinidad, go with her real name, is probably going to compete in the women's tournament this coming summer, which I am very, very much highly looking forward to. And as we are talking about NXT, I want to sidetrack just for a second and talk about the main event of that show was Hideo Itami versus Oni Lorcan, and Hideo Itami is possibly turning heel, which I think is fantastic for him because he's been absolutely stale as 2-day-old bread. It's just useless. His push was put in jeopardy the minute he got hurt. He came out, they gave him the babyface entrance, they changed his name. He had a much better name upon entering than Hideo Itami, but he got hurt and he was out, and in the time that he was out, guys like Akira Tozawa and Shinsuke Nakamura have come from Japan and have just knocked the damn doors right off the WWE universe. They are full of charisma, they are full of character, they have connected with the universe already, and none more than Shinsuke, of course. And that's a hard act to follow. But what we don't have is a villainous side to the Far East invasion. And that would be a great way for him to finally maybe come up and get some attention and be something. Because he's just been nothing. He was the first in this influx of New Japan style talent, strong style, and all this stuff coming from the Far East. And sometimes, worst is first. It just happens sometimes. And in this case, that definitely seems to be true. He hurt himself. He was out for almost 2 years. And in that time, too many people just came and just overshadowed him. So this would break him out. And I think it would be a great way for him to go out if the rumors are not true about him actually leaving when his contract is expired at the end of this year. He may just be going home to Japan to spend more time with his family, as WWE.com reports. But I don't believe a thing that I read on WWE.com because 99% of it is to further the storyline now, and they're just trying to troll everybody, so to speak, with the website. So it's not really a viable source of information. So take it with what you want. A grain of salt, a pinch of sugar, whatever floats your boat. If you're a sugar person, if you're a salt person, sweet, savory, I don't know what you're into, but whatever it is, just take it with a pinch of that because we don't know exactly where it's going to be going. Let's talk about the greatest thing that's happened on Monday Night Raw since Finn Balor won the Universal title. Samoa Joe and Paul Heyman put on an absolute clinic in how to build a match. These guys went out there and within 10 minutes or however long the segment was, immediately got the entire crowd and each and every one of us invested in his match versus the Beast. If you were not interested in this before, first of all, shame on you. And you have to be now, especially after seeing what you're seeing. And to see the feud and angle being continued on social media, as Joe and Paul have been kind of tweeting little things at each other. It's been a refreshing thing of beauty to see. Two masters of microphone work, unlike any other. Samoa Joe is everything he says he is. He is 100% legit. He is the best heel in pro wrestling right now, bar none. And Paul Heyman is Paul Heyman. You put those two combustible elements together, you get what happened on Monday Night Raw. It was absolutely magical. Fucking magical. Now, that being said, the future plans for Brock Lesnar and the Universal title make me not like anything that's going on right now. As awesome as it is and as great as it might be, first of all, this match is being wasted on a piece of shit pay-per-view, Great Balls of Fire. And of course, they had to use the song, right? They couldn't even get like an updated version or somebody's cover version of it and maybe rock it out a little bit. No, they had to use the old style. Whatever. We're not getting back in to the giant red shaft of fire. We are going to talk about the matter at hand, which is Brock Lesnar's plans. All right? So the plans for him, seemingly, are to wrestle Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor, all in title matches, leading up to the planned match at WrestleMania 34 against Roman Reigns, where he will have his fourth WrestleMania main event and will probably win the title, and then will have his fourth coronation, as if the first three, were any good. This is going to be their fourth try. And already, just by the plans that are being set in motion, it's a failure. Because you are going to sacrifice the fantastic and just budding careers of guys like Finn Balor and Braun Strowman. There are a million other ways they could have gone about this. And this match, especially with the quality of the build that we are going to get, as was made apparent on Monday night's Raw, it needed to be at a bigger show than Great Balls of Fire. This is a WrestleMania caliber storyline, build, and match. But we're getting it now and it's being rushed. And it's all being sacrificed. And Samoa Joe is going to end up losing this attempt at the title. And they are just going to usher Brock Lesnar along to the next guy. Just a drop in the bucket becomes Samoa Joe. He is much more than a drop in the bucket. He is the most legit and viable contender they have on the entire roster. And this is a main event unlike anything they would have been able to offer us outside of something along the lines of Kurt Angle and Joe, or Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, or Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan. This is that type of match. It needs to be showcased in a light that it needs, because, I mean, come on, this is just talking about it. It's WrestleMania, man. This is a WrestleMania match happening at like an In Your House type of a pay-per-view with an even worse fucking name than In Your House. And then you could even move down the line. Braun Strowman, everything they have done. I hated Braun Strowman when they first started, but they have built my interest. They have gotten me with Braun Strowman. He is the monster among men. He's off TV now. He's hurt. He's going to be coming back, and you're just going to feed him to Brock Lesnar so that Brock Lesnar can beat him, only for the eventuality of Roman Reigns to be the only man strong enough to beat Brock Lesnar. You're sacrificing everybody. Seth Rollins is the person right now that should be fighting Brock Lesnar. That's what I think they should be doing. He has a legitimate claim to a rematch. He never truly lost his title. Let's give the man his shot. He would be able to put on a great match with Brock Lesnar. That should be happening right now. Allow the progression and the succession of these contenders to actually make sense. He should move from Seth Rollins to Finn Balor to Braun Strowman to Samoa Joe. And Roman Reigns shouldn't even be in the picture. If anything, he should be first. Just get it over with and done, and move on and do something different, because nothing you're doing is working. And now, like I said, the demon Finn Balor, who's going to be built up to be this viable contender to Brock Lesnar, is just going to eventually be squashed by the champ so that he can hold this title all the way up until WrestleMania 34. It's terrible booking. It's absolutely horrible. I just highlighted one thing that I would have done differently. Everybody in this should be involved in the main title picture, of course, but we shouldn't be getting Fatal 5-Ways and just having them all wrestle each other. You should be establishing the Finn Balor Samoa Joe feud, because that's fire. That's lightning in a bottle. You had it. It'll work again on the grand stage. It was fantastic in NXT. These two guys know how to work each other. Their match quality was off the charts. It would be the best feud going on Raw right now. Brock Lesnar's off TV. You don't have to use him so much. You should be doing Braun Strowman just destroying everybody until Brock Lesnar comes back. until he gets his shot at Brock Lesnar. He's the monster among men. Just let him keep doing what he was doing, taking out guys like Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil and Kalisto until Kurt Angle gives him what he wants. And Kurt Angle will continuously tell him that this type of behavior gets you nothing, but Braun Strowman will continue to decimate the roster week after week after week until finally he gets to confront the Beast, and then they lead to that match. That's what Braun Strowman should be doing. Absolutely nothing else. And Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns should be a thing. One of these guys should be bad. We all know who it should be. And that should be the match that's happening right now. These are all different ways you could be doing it. You could also be doing Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. That would be more interesting to watch based off their history, and having him be the one to beat him for the Universal Championship in the end. And then you could have had Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe continue their thing. And when Braun Strowman comes back, you just make him tear ass on everybody. There's a bunch of different scenarios right there of a better way we could have done this whole entire thing. Another thing they should be doing better on Monday Night Raw is what they're doing with the women's division. And we complain about this a lot, but Alexa Bliss has something very special going on. There is nobody better than she is right now at promos and being evil bitch. She is the best. Notwithstanding that segment, Bayley, This Is Your Life, is and will now forever be one of the worst segments I've ever had to sit through. She did the best she could, and she just, you can't act garbage. You just can't. No matter what you do, it's still going to be garbage in the end. But they have something that I don't even think they know they have. If you follow her on social media, you know that Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax are the very, very, very best of friends. So where are they failing with this? Monday Night Raw. Nia Jax is getting a shot against Alexa Bliss. Mickie James is going to be at ringside with Miss Piggy, and I don't know why that was even needed, but whatever. What should have happened, we all know what happened, okay? And now we're going to have, Alexa versus Nia, and this whole thing is going to happen. And I'm not down with it, because what should have happened is you take a little dose of reality and you infuse it with the storyline, and it makes everything feel real, it makes everything look better, and it doesn't make us feel stupid, which is a very important thing. Because when you follow these girls and you see how close they are backstage, that they're tweeting and hashtagging National Best Friends Day to one another, and then you see them on Monday Night Raw in a scenario that we've seen, it's just not believable at all. And it totally breaks kayfabe, and everything about wrestling is ruined. So what should be happening is that match could have been booked, and here's how I would have done it differently. As Nia Jax clearly would have had the advantage over poor little Alexa Bliss, Mickie James and Piggy James, Piggy Brooks. Piggy James was a thing. That's not a thing anymore. I'm sorry. My wrestling brain takes over sometimes. Should have jumped into the ring and started to attack Alexa Bliss. Or at least have gotten involved to the point where maybe they got Nia disqualified, or whatever the finish would be is not important. The important thing is that at some point in this match, these girls, maybe not attack because they're good. Maybe they just start to, get in Alexa's face and start to really at her, and then out of nowhere Nia Jax just levels the two of them. Alexa Bliss will smirk and make a snide comment and whatever. They'll give a nice little high five. She could jump up and do it, because that's what they should be doing, booking her like Shawn Michaels was with Kevin Nash, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. She's her bodyguard to protect her against the women's division, and they're the best of friends. Just like Nash and Michaels. It would work on so many levels, and the build to that epic confrontation begins, because then as we get closer to a huge event like maybe the Royal Rumble, or even hold it off if it has some legs and it's really successful, you hold it and build it till WrestleMania. We're right before, maybe at the Royal Rumble, they have some sort of a scuffle and they have a miscommunication, and now Nia Jax is starting to get pissed off about always protecting Alexa Bliss, always being the reason why she wins, always having her back, and then Alexa maybe throws her under the bus or something similar to that, or keeps putting off her chance at the title. But you're my friend, we should be able to have a friendly match. Yeah, but I'll get to you, we'll get to you. I got to deal with this right now. Why don't you go beat up Naomi for me, because, she's coming. Or whatever the case may be. And then WrestleMania, finally it all implodes. Boom. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax takes a strap from Alexa, who's had it all year, giving it credibility, running through all the competitors with the help of Nia Jax, which makes everything it rolls up in a bowl, a nice little package, ready to party. Let's do it. Pull the trigger and do things like this, because that is what they should be doing. This whole thing is going to be over and done with in a half second. It's almost as if they threw Nia Jax in because she tweeted about how, hey, look how SmackDown uses their women. That's awesome. Something to that effect. And, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're not using you, so we'll do this. But it's going to fast forward real quick. We're going to get right through, and Alexa's going to end up either avoiding or beating Nia Jax, or the other girls are going to continuously get involved, and it's going to become annoying. Finally, as we're talking about the women, let's talk about the last thing here that we're going to talk about today before we do Today in Pro Wrestling History, which is, on SmackDown, the women's division, something interesting happened during the introduction of the woman's Money in the Bank contract suitcase, briefcase, which looked fantastic. I have no qualms with the white briefcase. It looked great. What I do have a problem with is... well, no, let's not jump ahead. Lana decides to stick her nose where it don't belong, and the Ravishing Russian ravishes herself down to the ring and wants to be included in this matchup and tells Shane McMahon that she deserves to be in this matchup. Shane McMahon rightfully says, there is no reason for you to be in this match. You need to earn this match. So you are not allowed to be in this match. Sense. Makes perfect sense. Fast forward to during this matchup that they're having with the girls, Lana comes out and gets involved, trips up Naomi, and now because of this, she's granted a WWE title shot. A title shot. You're not worthy of being in the women's Money in the Bank, but we'll just give you a shot against the champion instead. Now, Cage Side Seats has reported in their Rumors and Roundup section that Lana is going to be booked in an angle somewhat similar to what they were doing with Eva Marie, now that that's no longer going to be a thing. I hope that's not the case, because that gimmick is going to get annoying very quickly, and everybody in the world, we are not stupid, WWE, and we are going to know that that's the Eva gimmick just transplanted onto somebody else. So let's not do that. If she comes out in this match and totally finds a way to call it off, or has a wardrobe malfunction, or is stuck in traffic, or whatever, all the shit we had to deal with the redhead. If they start pulling that shit, it's going to fail. It's going to already be a failure. If she comes out and has a competitive match against the champion and showcase everything I'm hearing about how good Lana supposedly is, as she's been wrestling on some NXT shows, that's what we need to see. She better not win the title, because that would just be wrong. Absolutely not the way to go. But she should have a competitive match, bring Naomi to the brink of losing, and then, after losing to the champion, by whatever reason she loses, goes to Shane McMahon like, alright, see, I deserve to be in that Money in the Bank ladder match, and you screwed me. And now you can have that be a thing. I don't know where they're going to go with Lana and this thing. If she's going to keep coming out in the dresses and doing the dancing, fine. But it just should be played in more of a heel role. And right now she's in between, and I don't think they really even know what the end result's going to be. All we know is she's not going to be with Rusev, obviously. And this is going to be a whole new thing for Lana. I can't wait to see it in one respect, because I want to see if she can go. I want to see if she can wrestle. I want to see if the rumors are true and that Lana's very good. But on the other hand, I'm afraid that they're going to ruin it and try to play this Eva Marie or Emma style angle where they're just going to keep holding off her actual in-ring debut as if we're going to stay, like a fish hooked on the bait. It's not going to happen. Finally, today, before we sign off, let's do Today in WWE History. Today in Pro Wrestling History. WWE is not the end-all be-all of pro wrestling. Although, it kind of is. Who are we fucking kidding? But this is Today in Pro Wrestling History, because we do go outside the WWE for all our history, although this story, in particular, is about the WWE. So, let's just move along. 23 years ago today, June the 9th, WWF holds its first ever Hall of Fame induction ceremony from the Omni Inner Harbor International Hotel in Baltimore, Maryland. This was the first year a full class was inducted, as the previous year the Hall of Fame was created, with just one inductee being the legendary Andre the Giant. The whole reason WWE even made a Hall of Fame was so that they can have a way to honor this one man. And in the year that followed, we had our very first class of superstars to join the inaugural inductee, Andre the Giant, which included Classy Freddie Blassie, Bobo Brazil, James Dudley, Gorilla Monsoon. One of the voices in my head when I think about wrestling is Gorilla Monsoon. Arnold Skaaland, the great manager of Bob Backlund. Buddy Rogers, one of the first World Heavyweight Champions ever. And Chief Jay Strongbow, who is a very, very beloved fan favorite from the generation just before my own. I saw Chief Jay Strongbow in the twilight of his career, and he was something special, man. He had a definite connection with the fans. All of these guys. This is a collection of legends that is unmatched. The first ever WWE Hall of Fame class. What a damn class it was. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We had a few nice little, news and rumors and stuff to talk about. Not really much going on in the world of pro wrestling. Raw sucks as always. It's doing terrible things. We're having some good matches to watch here and there, but all in all, everything still is just really just fucking downhill. So we got some big things in store for the channel. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary this summer, and I got moves I want to be making. We are trying to get hired by House of Glory Wrestling, so if anybody from House of Glory is watching this, please call me back, man. I've been hitting you up every way I can. I'm trying to get in whatever way I can. I need to get my foot in the door, and then maybe one day you'll see me being a pro wrestling manager where I belong on the outside of that ring. You never know. I'll keep you guys informed. You never know. We gotta try. You never know. I'm just gonna keep saying that until it happens, because HOG, please get back at me, bro, because I'm gonna keep coming until you call me back one way or another. I'm persistent, and I'm gonna win this fight. I don't want it to be a fight. I want it to just be a nice conversation. So call me. No fight. No aggression. No fight. No fighting. Also, I'm going to change up most of the stuff we do here. And I want some suggestions. So hit at me in the comments below. What would you like to see? I got some segments in the works. We're going to start maybe doing a weekly show at an actual time. So you guys know, maybe every Saturday night at 8:05 Eastern Time, Sledgehammer Wrestling Show will be live on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. I don't know. Hit me up, guys. Let me know what you think. Thank you all so much. Everybody that joined the crew this week, all of the subscribers that jumped on board, you are fucking awesome. Don't forget to also, if you're a fan of both us and WhatCulture, let WhatCulture know that the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show here on Sledgehammer TV is championing the cause, and we are behind them. And we may be a small little cog in the machine, but we're still part of the machine, and the machine can't work without all its pieces moving in unison and staying together as one. And that's what we are going to do, and stand together and fight back against the wrestling discrimination that's going on YouTube right now. So please do that for me. Let them know that we're behind them and that we are part of this thing with them, because you're part of this thing with us, and I can't do this without you guys. So thank you once again, everybody, for subscribing. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know you liked it. If you got this far, I want you to use the hashtag universal title in the comments below. Let me know that you got all the way to the end. And thank you again so much if you did. I am Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone, old trusty Blue. And we are out of here! Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time right here on Sledgehammer TV.